Do you want to?
Oh yeah, of course. Let's check out the Vampire Sweden in here.
Vampire Sweden.
Vampire Sweden. It's very much separated through a lot of different.
That's a big. That's a big man.
That's a very big man.
That's
actually.
a big man.
Why is he so big?
He's so big. That man big.
There we go. We have the unconcerned soldier of House Hardestad in here. Nice to see. I'm just checking all the different houses that are
420.
Rulings, yeah.
Wait, go back.
What?
Go back to Smolen.
This one?
The one below it.
Yeah, this one. Okay.
420.
420. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, that was it. That's all I wanted to do.
Hello.
Yeah.
Nice to be here.
Yeah, Stefan is responsible for the Prince of Darkness mod for CK3, and we thought this would be a nice showcase to show you guys the power of mods, how they're done, and to welcome the creator of this mod because, well, modders deserve as much credit as they can get because they work harder than most of us do. So, we have the game pulled up with the mod installed. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I think we have a video to show you how mods are done, but we'll show you that in a little bit. For right now, we're just going to start off a new game right from the beginning and launch right into it.
Yes, and as you can see, it already starts to go pretty deep into the world of darkness, which if you are not yet accustomed with World of Darkness, this is the world in which the supernatural creatures are living among us. And this in particular is inspired by not only one of the newest additions to the World of Darkness, which is Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition, but also Vampire Dark Ages, and setting up, all of this medieval history on how it would look like when the leaders would be vampires. Is that right, Stefan? What was your approach to it?
That's right. That's right. This mod actually got started back in 2014 on Crusader Kings 2. And originally I was like, Crusader Kings 2 is a great game about his history, events that happen really, really in depth. But what would make it better is if I threw all that out and made it about vampires. So that's the idea. And it went through several permutations to get to the current mod here. But I should say, for credit, I am just one of the developers, the primary lead developers, but we have a good team of about 4 or 5 people that have committed a lot of time to this project.
Yeah, feel free to give them a shout out if you would like. Give them some credit.
Sure,
That's why we're here.
Card has done a great work on the history stuff. Some of our new 3D models, some of the Nosferatu and whatnot, are by Emeryville. A lot of the Code of Arms work is by Hastur, and we have several other people contributing code, small and large, to the project.
So I think it's a very good moment to actually start playing, and at the very beginning we can choose one of the main leaders, but we can also try to play as any ruler, which will give us an option to play as many different vampire characters which might be known from the lore if you read the Vampire the Masquerade books in the past, but we can also modify these leaders to our own need. And I'm going to actually right now pick Atreus of Clan Tremere.
You don't want to start on a hard difficulty one right off the bat? No?
Maybe not the best idea, but we can actually make this a little bit harder by this is what I did when I first played this game. I tried to pick one of those leaders, but then try to change the clan and the faith and all of the things, which put me in a pretty difficult position. But maybe Steven can tell us a little bit more about the customization of your vampire leader.
Sure. First off, we do have a lot of canon characters there. More than 1,000 characters from the World of Darkness lore are there to pick. But if you don't want that and you want to do your own customization, we did write a customization script there so that you can, in a lore-friendly way, get to the right clan, bloodline, path of enlightenment that you want to achieve. So we can go through that, sure.
Yeah, the thing is, when I actually changed Atreus into Setite, because, of course I would do that, then unfortunately I was surrounded by everyone else being either Tremere or disliking me, which put the game in the hard mode.
This is fine.
But
fine.
Yeah, so the beginning, the introduction really sets a very good tone about vampire mechanics and how they actually fit into the world of CK3. So what Stefan and the crew did is they adapted Vampire the Masquerade Masquerade rules to CK3 mechanics, or CK3 mechanics to Vampire the Masquerade rules, and actually change some things, for example, religions, to fit the lore a little bit more. Could you explain, as I'm going through the introduction, what things have you changed from the basic game?
Sure. Well, we changed almost everything. First off, to the map. I mean, it's actually a testament to how great a mod tool you can use with Crusader Kings 2. It's got really good bones and also a lot of new features that we really leaned into for this mod that we just couldn't do in CK2. But first, we changed all our event themes so that it's consistently this dark city set. We changed the map outlook so it's darker and mistier. We could change the event icons and traits and pretty much overhaul all the graphics, except we kept it the standard CK3 map in geography, but the actual political and religious structure is fully World of Darkness.
Yep, and that is a good point. So those of you that know, we just released this game on September 1st, and this is a very large, very in-depth, very high-scale mod. And yeah, it is an undertaking. How were you able to handle this level of a mod this early on in the game?
Well, first off, having experience with any kind of modding in a Paradox title will help you mod other Paradox titles. Like if you could mod CK2, you would have a clue about what's going on in Stellaris or EU4 or Hearts of Iron. If you did any modding in Imperator, then CK2 is based off the same Jomani engine. So it's very, very similar. I should mention that I did freelance content design for Crusader Kings 3 2 years ago. So I did get a good early look at the system. Other than that, there's all kinds of ways that people get information.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Yeah, sure. And of course, here we are playing as vampires. So for people who are more accustomed to CK3 and played the basic vanilla game for a long time, they might be used to the idea of dynasties as, families that have members that die of old age or sickness, and then they have progeny, and that progeny takes over. This is a little bit different when you're an eternal creature, which only may stop being eternal if you are being staked or, meet the sun.
Other misfortunes.
Misfortunes, exactly. So how does that make the gameplay different?
Well, one thing we actually did is we leaned in hard to the new Dynasty and Cadet systems. Usually when you're playing Crusader Kings 3, you're the only member of your dynasty, particularly if you rolled your own. And there are, hundreds of dynasties, maybe thousands of dynasties throughout the world, each county having a different dynasty with it. We set it up for World of Darkness so that there are actually 15 main dynasties and about a dozen houses under each dynasty, and they control the whole map. So if you're not part of one of those dynasties, you're at a severe disadvantage. But if you are part of one of those dynasties, well, now you have a lot of family problems with about 200 other landed characters.
I'm going to go the hard mode right now, and I'm going to wipe the supernatural traits of Atreus and go to character generator just to show people off on how this looks like. And this actually, this is making it a little bit more difficult, I feel.
You're playing with fire.
I'm playing with fire. This is super interesting for people who are more knowledgeable in Vampire the Masquerade lore, or also if you want more customization, it might make the game a little bit more difficult, but we're going to go with it.
Be sure you want to do this.
I really want to do that. So the very first question that the game asked me is, what kind of a supernatural are you? Does that mean that you plan to add more supernatural creatures to the game?
We do plan to add more supernatural characters to the game. The first expansion that we're going to do, hopefully in midwinter, will add Hunters of the Shadow Inquisition because they work well with vampires as antagonists. And then after that, we're leaving it up to the community to decide whether we develop werewolves or mages or what next. Because doing a whole new splat can be a lot of work, but no matter how much work we put into the other splats, vampires will always shine the brightest here in terms of developed content.
Absolutely. So here we have a little bit of a questions of the origins of vampires, which may already kind of like focus ours on some particular clan. For example, the followers of Set, known as Ministry nowadays, they don't believe that vampires come from Cain, the biblical Cain. They believe that they come from Set. This is what I did originally. Not a great idea because everyone else was like, you are a blasphemist. What are you talking about? So I'm going to try to go a little bit more vanilla with the twist. One fun thing about the Tremere, which like Etrius is actually of clan Tremere in the new edition, is that some Tremere are of the like House Karna, which is like a separate thing. It didn't exist in the Dark Ages, so it's a little bit of a stretch, but they are, I think, much more connected with that, let's say, feminine power. So let's say that actually the Dark Matter is the Lilith is actually the originator of all vampires, and let's see where this will lead us. So
real quick question. We noticed there were more traits on there. Those traits that you had in there for all the different types, were those originally based on traits already in the game, or did you have to go through and build your own traits from the ground up?
We built our own traits from the ground up, and that's actually the easiest thing. You want to talk about something time intensive? It's actually adding secrets, and we added a lot of secrets because vampires. You know?
Right.
I'm checking the different options we have in here about which antediluvian funded my personal clan, for example.
Right.
So let's be a Ventru, which are they try to be the rulers anyway. That's the clan of the leaders, and also the clan of like I feel like most of the Camarilla princes out there. So that would be pretty fun. Also, it's kind of funny that we're playing Etrius of Cantramere, who's a Ventru, but why not?
Right.
Do that.
Interesting. For those of you that don't know the lore.
I know, but it's a little bit of a mishmash. You can really mix up anything in here. So yeah, this is something that you can go very much deep into the customization. I'm going to just like pick some additional options in here, and yeah, sure. Let's be a child of Mithras. So here we can also pick our disciplines. So can you please let us know how disciplines work in the mod per se?
Sure. So disciplines work in a couple different ways. First off, we have a trait that is usually at least the 3 associated with your clan or bloodline, but that trait then unlocks lifestyles that have a whole perk tree that you go down to develop different powers, largely in accordance with the V5 definition of the powers, because V5 consolidated a lot of disciplines to a smaller number of trees and made it a lot easier to deal with. But you can still branch off from there. So for instance, if you're going to shapeshift with protein and you're a gangrel, you might become a wolf. But if you're a Setite, you're going to become a giant snake.
Yes, these are basically vampiric powers, for those of you guys who are not accustomed to Vampire and Masquerade, and they allow you... I know that you...
I mean, I don't know anything. This is my first time playing a video game, so I'm really glad I have knowledgeable people around me.
So, for example, here, because I'm doing this kind of a mix, Tremere originally are the masters of blood sorcery. They're the blood mages. And so I'm going to make Mithras into another clan, but he's still going to have blood sorcery. He's also going to have Dominate, which allows you to manipulate the minds of others and make them, for example, do something for you.
I guess that's a good angle. You can just act like I don't know anything, and you're explaining to me.
I know, right?
I like this plan.
And fortitude is, I think, is a very important discipline for leaders, because it is your, you are like a rock. You're a stone standing in one place, and nothing can push you away from that place. So
now I know.
Yeah, we are the owners of the throne. So that's, that's I think what we're going to go for. So how does blood potency work in the mod?
Blood potency.
So blood potency, we have it tracking with V5. So vampires have a generation, which is how far they're descended from Cain. But blood potency is how potent their blood is. It gives them some passive bonuses in terms of their attributes, like prowess and intrigue and things like that. But it also gates certain abilities for their higher power. And also it determines how much blood you need to satisfy your hunger.
Yes, and fun fact is you can heighten your blood potency by sucking the blood dry out of another vampire, which is called diablerie.
Oh no!
It's a horrible crime in the world of vampires.
no.
At least, according to a lot of vampires, you might establish your own faith in this mod, which allows you to actually diablerize other vampires and not be punished by it because it's not a sin.
So would you say that they took full advantage of the faith and religion system to flesh out an entire universe based on the CK3 engine?
Oh my god, this is one of my favorite parts of this mod. And Stefan, I'm going to let you talk about it, but I just want to say I love it.
Sure. So we made a huge change with all the religions and faiths. We used them to reflect the world of darkness vampires' paths of enlightenment, or roads of belief that vampires in the Dark Ages have, that define how they relate to the world and how they keep the beast at bay, which is a supernatural voice in their head encouraging them to do terrible vampire things. And if they do too many,
Hashtag terrible vampire things.
Terrible vampire things.
They will turn into a monster that has to abdicate their title. I mean, that's the big problem, abdicating your titles, but otherwise becoming a monster that can't interact with humanity. So they have different methods to approach that, and they have different crimes for their religions, for their faiths, and that features then here in the game. And they have different orientations to diablerie or the Masquerade, whether or not they should be compassionate to mortals, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so the roads in here are a little bit more, I would say maybe a bit more complicated parts of the lore, but if you want to read on exactly what they mean and what kind of they are explained in the game as well, but once you are in a character creation, you might want to like refer to Wiki or other source to make sure that you are picking the right one. But what do roads do exactly?
So roads let you interact with the world in terms of a morality. It's a philosophy and your approach to your terrible undead existence.
Yes.
So, it defines things like, should I eat other vampires? Should I eat people? What is actually the ethical way for me to go about getting blood? Maybe I can only drink the blood of animals. Maybe my vampires think we should only drink the blood of people. And so your roads define these characteristics and your relationship to other things like werewolves or magic, and a whole host of crimes that only vampires care about.
I'm going to go with a pretty much of a like vanilla type of a vampire who's following the road of humanity and the via humanitatis, which is like the road of basically humanity. It's like typical vampires who are trying to not succumb to their beast, which is their like the inner, like let's say that little devil on your shoulder who is like speaking very very bad things
or not
to
so
you.
little if you have bigger shoulders.
Exactly, it can be still very small but very mischievous.
Diminutive devil.
Yes, but it's like speaking and whispering some very bad things. And this actually happens in the game, right? The beast speaks to you sometimes or speaks through you. And I read it somewhere, I think you wrote it on Discord, that this was inspired by LA by Night actual play, right?
Sure. Jason Carl has a great beast voice. And
Jason Carl, just very quickly, Jason Carl is our wonderful marketing manager for World of Darkness. Greetings to Jason. Just waving in there.
A lot of role players now, storytellers, are now using the beast voice as a personification of the beast that talks to the character, encourages it. Very similar to how Wraith did the Shadow, if anybody ever played Wraith the Oblivion. And I'm hoping to see some good Shadow stuff when it comes to Wraith Afterlife. But, the way we reflect it here in the game is that occasionally when you're confronted with decisions, you get the options. And when you slide over the option, there'll be bright red text being the beast voice, encouraging you to basically do the worst thing possible in terms of humanity.
Or the best thing possible.
Or the best thing.
I will have to say, being a vampire prince on the road of humanity, if you add the compassionate trait to that, that's definitely hard mode. Being a compassionate, humane vampire, very difficult, particularly if you're going to be prince. I don't think most of the players choose that option yet, but I will challenge them to do so.
So this is a little bit of a hard mode, what we have on the screen right now. The type of a prey, there's either humans or vampires. So there are some vampires that only feed on other vampires, either for ethical reasons or because they just like want to get that power. And this is like, I'm just telling from my tabletop experience, playing a blood leech is difficult. It's not easy because you need to either coerce other vampires to give you their blood, or you need to hunt other vampires, which is not the best way to stay alive for a long
Right.
time. So I'm going to go with humans for that one, but I recommend to try the challenge if you guys want to.
Also, real quick point of housekeeping. Nurgle, do we have a video to show how mods are done?
Oh.
No? No.
Wow, Nurgle, how could you?
My heart is shattered into 1,000 pieces. Yeah, so many of you are asking, yes, this is a mod. Stefan here is the creator, one of the creators, apologies, of the Prince of Darkness mod for CK3. You can download this in our Steam Workshop, and we do have a video, hopefully, of how to install those mods. No? Definitely not? Oh, man. I thought we did.
Well, this is actually pretty
bummer.
straightforward, though, because because of wonderful attempt from Stefan and his team of making this mod. It's one of the top-rated mods on both Paradox Plaza and Steam Workshop.
Yep.
So it's very easy to find. And if you guys want to play as a vampire in CK3 and try to get into the World of Darkness through Princess of Darkness mod, you will be able to find this mod very easily on both. And after you install it in the launcher, you make sure that in the mod section,
you make sure you click Enable Mods.
Enable mods, and then enable, the little slider next to the mod, and it's on. Nothing else to be done.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. Like she said, download the mod, go into your launcher, click Enable Mods, check the mods that you want to play with, and then launch the game like normal. It will bring you into the game, and it will have all the features. Not to say that it was an easy process by any means, but thanks to their hard work, it is now very easy for you to download, install, and play these mods. All of our modding community is very hardworking, very dedicated, and very knowledgeable. So if you have any problems or questions, just make sure you hit up the author of those mods, and they will be able to direct you into the right place. And a little bit of paperwork here is we are here for the strategy weekend for Paradox. That's why we're here, having this excellent conversation, showing you the power of mods. While CK3 is just brand new to the market and not on sale this weekend, we do have a lot of really interesting other strategy games, including CK2 and a lot of the content for that. So make sure you check out the store, go to Steam, see all of our wonderful sales. Yeah, I'm sorry, that was really boring.
I want to interject just with a warning, because I don't know why don't you warn your audience that potentially buying any of these titles is going to deprive them of sleep for the next few days,
you don't need sleep.
Or weeks.
You don't need sleep, you have a game.
Well, I mean, that's right. But
Exactly. So yeah, CK3 is definitely one of our strategy games, but unfortunately not on sale. But the good news, the long-awaited patch, is coming out sometime next week. So make sure that you pay attention to our news. As soon as we have a better date for you guys, we will, make sure that we share that with you. And additionally, much discussed is the length of said patch. It is 5.3 Groogies long. It is a massive patch. So the changelog is filled with all kinds of good stuff, which also includes many of the suggestions, questions, concerns, and comments that you guys have brought up. So we did do our best to listen to you, and anything that we could improve in the meantime we got in there. That does not mean that we are done by any means, so please continue with your suggestions, your concerns, any problems you may have. And in the meantime, let's get done with the boring stuff. I'm so sorry, that was preachy. That was terrible. Let's get back to it.
It was great, actually. Don't be so hard on
Yeah.
yourself. There was a lot of bats in your
my belfry?
Yeah,
Bats in my belfry?
But I just want to say that speaking of bats, I've made him into a siren, which is a very sexy beast. He's going to hunt by seduction.
Look at his face. He looks so much better than when we renounced our traits.
I know,
so
because he suddenly turned more attractive after I made him into a sexy beast.
Imagine that.
So is that like a plant thing? They do turn more attractive once I turn them into a siren.
Well, actually, when you choose the prototype siren, if you aren't already beautiful, it gives you the comely trait.
Oh.
So that's why you got cuter.
Oh, I mean, it's crazy how he actually does look much more cute than he looked initially.
You have a very kawaii-des.
If you'd chosen to be Nosferatu, you wouldn't look much, much worse.
I suspect that will be a thing. So I want to ask, because of course, like Ventru, all the vampires have their curse, and that depends on what clan you are. The curse may be different. Ventru's curse is that they are very, very picky. They cannot just, drink blood from anyone. They have a preferred type. So how does this type work here in the mod?
Don't we all?
Oh, I know.
So in addition to choosing your predator type, which is a V5 system, you also can choose your prey restriction as a vampire and go through a series of categories. We couldn't obviously let you choose, only teenage milkmaids, but we divided humanity into several different slices of about 6 types each. So, age and gender, or their occupation, or their primary sin trait, or their primary virtue trait. And so that generally divides all characters into 1 of 7 categories. And the idea is you're supposed to feed off that. And if you don't feed on your menu, then you will get stress, a chance to get stress from feeding off your menu. We are using stress as an analog to our willpower mechanic from Storyteller, just as we use piety to represent your path rating on your road.
Nice. Very nice. I was going to ask how that was going to come into play, because that's not really compatible with the any of the World of Darkness series.
Right. So actually, when you're using some of your powers and you want a more chance to succeed, you can voluntarily spend willpower, that is, have a chance to gain stress to push it over the top, but then your opponent can also choose as well. And while you can't die of a heart attack in our mod from stress, if you have a level 3 stress event and some other complicating factors like hunger or low piety, that's when you can become a white and abdicate your title.
Nice.
So that's one of the easiest games overs to get in this mod, is becoming a white because you didn't manage your stress.
Well, I mean, is that really a game over, or is that just the beginning?
Well, a lot of people, Crusader Kings 3, tend to play a whole dynasty for hundreds of years. But one thing we've seen with this mod is people tend to identify with the character after 400 years or whatever. And then when they die, even if they have 1,000 young, they'll rage quit because I'm just doing the one character, my one vampire. Remember, we've actually thought about trying to make that a game rule for people to play it. Our own version of Iron Man would be, one character and done. Which, of course, not the way you're supposed to play Crusader Kings, but we try to go in other directions, and that's also some of the strength you have with this game, is that you can take it in different ways. Like Crusader Kings added knights, and we decided to lead into knights 150%. So the knights are the most important thing when it comes to strategy. With our version of the mod, which impacts warfare, you pay much more attention to how powerful and how many knights your enemy has than their number of levies. Likewise, you want to maintain the happiness, the positive opinion of your knights, all the time, because you don't want them leaving.
So it's the impact of knights is way bigger in this particular mod, and I want to showcase some of the original things that this mod adds to the game. And one of these things is, of course, the options you have on your leader. So, for example, there are vampiric things that you can do. You can either find mortals, search your territory for mortals vulnerable to your actions. I feel like that's very much locked to Clan Ventru, because usually you have just hunt, right? Or
No, everyone can do find mortals to give yourself some mortals to go with. And actually, I wish you'd still been Tremere, because you could have used Auspex to actually hunt the specific resonance that you want.
How embarrassing.
I know.
But it's a way to produce different ones. So, for instance, here you can choose between peasants or clergy or soldiers that you want to find some mortals to do some vampire things to.
Exactly. So let's just say, okay, so what I picked for my Ventru is that I really want to only eat from people who are knowledgeable. Does that mean that I should particularly, for example, aim for clergy in that regard?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the Dark Ages, right? It's 1238. Yeah. So absolutely, if you only want to eat from the learned, you want to be eating from clergy.
And for those of you that are just joining us, we discovered that nights are really good for vampires because days are bad.
Yeah. Days are bad. No day-night cycle in Crusader Kings. In fact, the speed gets really, really fast in the Crusader Kings 3. The multi-threading is way better than CK2, which means that, days, many days pass in a second. You can go through a year very quickly, particularly if you're playing a vampire. So we actually had to change the time scale of a lot of powers when it comes to vampires to extend their duration, to extend how long things take, how long it takes to get hungry, all these kinds of things. Generally, our mechanic is you do freaky vampire things, you get hungry. You don't do freaky vampire things, you don't get hungry.
Makes sense.
So, additionally, of course, the game is going to mention that we are not married. It is not that much important for a vampire to get married, unless, of course, you want to do that to gain some diplomatic relationships and make sure that there's like some kind of a union. But you do not need a wife to create a progeny. You basically embrace humans that you find around, and you can turn them into vampires, making possibly your future heir.
But you got to be really careful with spouses because you are literally stuck with them forever.
That kind of sucks, yeah. Like literally.
Literally sucks because vampires sucks.
That depends on your road.
Right,
if you are a Ventru on Via Regalis, then that marriage is forever if it's to another vampire until one of you dies. However, others are much more liberal about these things. The important thing here, though, is that the importance of marriage is establishing political alliances for warfare. That's what marriage is really about.
I can create the Duchy of Transylvania, which is also like something very vampiric in this particular regard. But I want to talk very quickly about other vampiric options, things that I can do. I can blood search, which is in tabletop, it's something that we do when we do not feel too much powerful in a particular role that we want to make. We want more dice on the table, we want more chances to actually like score a big win. So that's using our blood to fuel ourselves and make ourselves more powerful.
Pull up the larger character so we can see it outside of our chat window.
Okay, there we go. So that's here.
Yeah. So now you can see the traits on blood search.
There. Oh yeah, there we go. So this is the usage of the power of the blood to increase our vampire abilities. There's also an ability to spawn the army, which is like so cool. I wish we could do that in regular CK3 with our leaders. I just want to be a Queen of Poland who just like spawns Polish people and just swarms Sweden.
Isn't that what history said already happened? Isn't that
the other way around? It was Sweden and Poland.
Why wouldn't you start spawning people when you could spawn, I don't know, packs of wolves or zombies or shades from the netherworld or whatever?
Queen of Poland spawning zombies to attack Sweden. I feel like that's a very good option for medieval times. But we could do all of these things. But additionally...
Wait. Vampire Sweden, double OP? You heard it here, folks. Vampire Sweden is double OP.
We can take a look at Vampire Sweden if we want. It's there on the map.
Do you want to?
Of course. Let's check out the Vampire Sweden in here.
Vampire Sweden.
It's very much separated through a lot of different.
That's a big
factions.
That's a big man.
That's a very big man.
That's
actually.
A big man.
Why is he so big?
He's so big. That man big.
There we go. We have the unconcerned soldier of House Hardestadt in here. Nice to see. I'm just checking all the different houses. There are
420.
Yeah.
Wait, go back.
What?
Go back to Smolen.
This one?
The one below it.
Yeah, this one. Okay.
420.
420. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, that was it. That's all I wanted to do. I've accomplished my goals today.
You know what? I love your impact in there. Also, I just want to say that our console kind of sucks. I mean, literally.
That's because they're vampires.
I know.
That's just how it works. That was a bloody good joke.
Wow, all the vampire puns. Can we just add more of them in here? I think that's
Look, just acknowledge them and say fangs and moved on.
Yeah, so listen, this is our land, and of course we need to make sure that people from lands around us are very much, happy with us. For example, we have a very good relationship with this one. I'm just trying to find someone we don't really have a good relationship with. Perfect. All right, and I want to see if there's an option to scheme the diablerie. 8%. No,
yes, this 8% scheme seems Perfect.
I know, that's maybe not the very best idea. But maybe I can diablerize my horrible steward, which I hate. Let me see. 13% in 6 years, that's not worth it. Anyway, yeah, so diablery is, of course, an option for you if you do not want to just straight off murder your opponents. You can suck their blood to make sure that you gain their powers. It's, on one hand, it's something that gives you more than just murdering.
Yeah.
On the other hand, it is risky because most of the vampires like
Would
consider
frown
that.
on that?
Yeah, they would kind of frown in a
Yeah.
way that kind of could put you on the stake.
I guess you could say it's pretty high stakes then.
I love your bloody humor. It's great. Anyway,
Look, it's going to get to the point where there's too many bad puns. That'll be the final nail in the coffin.
can I feel like I feel personally attacked by all of these wonderful vampiric puns. I'm going to show you right now how the new blood works
please.
in the game.
Please.
So we searched the area for the humans. We're trying to find the humans to do very much malicious things with them, or maybe good things. Maybe we can just make them marry each other or something. So we have a lot of the humans in here, and what can we do with humans, Stefan?
So much.
Well, you can eat them. That's one thing.
Yes.
Eat them. You can eat them and then turn them into your undead childer, so that you have heirs. You can do that. You can appoint them to council positions. You can have them as knights. You can, if they aren't in your court and they're in some other court, you can summon them to you with your freaky vampire power. You can entrance them to make them love you. You can dominate them to put a hook on them, so you could do things to them.
So I want to pick one of them to become my childer. How should I approach this strategically?
It is a scheme. So you would right-click on them and choose the Embrace scheme.
Embrace.
Do we want to embrace Euphrosyne? I think like her name is great, and she's a zealous empath, and like, she's my creature as well.
A great name is a great reason to damn someone for eternity.
I know,
like it,
right? Yeah, all right, let's...
Would you say it's a damn good reason?
It's a damn good reason.
There we go. Perfect.
I'm making her ready because she also has some liking to me. Her opinion of me is +12, so that's a good start. You know, you don't want to embrace someone who outright hates you, because that's, you know, an opportunity to make an immortal enemy for yourself. So let's start this scheme in here, and as we started that scheme, can we still hunt someone else at the same time?
You can, because you're a vampire, we by default unlock 2 intrigue hostile plots.
Oh, perfect.
2 hostile schemes at a time, just for being a vampire. We're so great. And you still have 1 personal plot as well.
So,
Man,
yeah.
95% success chance and 95% for secrecy. That's impressive.
It is pretty impressive. It's easy for vampires to hunt unlike such peasants.
Yeah. I mean, this is a poor mortal, so makes sense.
Pure mortal. So what we
will probably make it more complicated in the future.
Yeah.
Maybe someone comes in, a rival swoops in and steals your prize out of you, or you try to embrace one and you get attacked by hunters. Obviously, we're just the first month into Crusader Kings.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Give us some time, people. Give us some time.
There are so many events, though. Even though that's, you know, you guys just started. We maybe will see some of them. I just need to like pick up the pace a bit.
Yeah.
But I'm particularly picking Joanna to suck her dry. Let me say, because she's analytic empath, so that kind of gives me a vibe that, you know, she might be knowledgeable, and that's kind of the prey that I'm looking for specifically. So let me hunt her, and that's it. I just want to. Yeah, there we go. There's a thing happening. Do you want to narrate this particular one? Okay.
Eastern Europe is in the traditional land of the Zamici clan, but the hegemony has been recently contested by the rise of the Tremere. Backed by German and Hungarian Ventru, a recent war has been ended with a bitter peace treaty between Vladimir Rostovich, voivode of voivodes, and Jürgen von Verden, Ventru Crusader. A buffer state, the Obertus Order, has been established, headed by the broker of peace, Micah Vikos. Now, Now everyone licks their wounds. Rostovich trying to assure his control of the clan and the Hungarian Ventru, solving a succession crisis with the torpor of their leader, Boscu. Finally, Etrius is leading the usurpers in Tramir's stead, showing the facade of a unified pyramid against the fiends. Everyone knows that war is inevitable in this region until a vampire stands powerful enough to crush his rivals once and for all. Who will it be?
I love the little vampiric pun here of licking the wounds. You know what happens when the vampire licks wounds? They heal. Because
They do.
that's what they do when they bite people. They just do a little slurp,
Yeah.
and then it just closes
also,
up.
Also, the enzyme in saliva naturally heals wounds, so I can imagine the vampire's licking of wounds would be like twice as potent.
I know. I'm going to check out very
10
quickly.
times better. 10 times better.
Yeah, 10 times.
There are so many different things that we can do right now. Declaring the war, of course, is something that's... oh, we have hooks in here.
So many.
Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so this is actually a little bit different than it also works in CK3 originally. So I'm going to try to modify the contract using a hook with
Normal.
Magister Alfric.
Right.
That's normal. But this is different.
Ta-da!
Yes.
Difference.
So these are the traditions of the Camarilla, and as much as these may sound very, creepy if you don't know the lore, but these are
Very creepy.
very creepy. But what they
You're still creepy.
they're still creepy. I mean, they are creepy, but they are kind of like very easy to understand because they are all made in place to make sure that vampires stay in, they stay put. They're hidden from the mortals. They are not, trying to go around and be like, boo, I'm a vampire, I'm
Wait,
going to eat everyone.
Do vampires say boo?
Some of them, I think.
I thought they
do.
said bleh. Am I wrong on this?
I feel like
Guys, I feel like I need clarification from a professional here.
It depends on their clan.
Yeah.
Understood.
So,
Got
okay,
it.
so as a Ventru, would we be more of a boo or a bleu vampire?
Blah.
A bleu. Okay, so we are more of a bleu. I feel like Nosferatu would be the boo vampires. But what about Toreadors? The beautiful ones, the sexy ones.
Le bleh.
The bleu.
Isn't that how you make it fancier? Did I miss something?
Okay, that's fine. All right, let's get back to the traditions.
Welcome back.
Hi. So we can negotiate one of the things in here, and what in particular should we modify in here to make sure that we have a little bit more power over Magister Alfric Etrius? What do you suggest, Stefan?
Oh, well, I would suggest that you make it the liege's decision about their domain. Don't leave it to protect it.
Okay, so the liege may revoke a domain provided the crown laws allow it. All right, so we can use the hook in there. Let me
Literally
just
going, this mine. But, no, this mine.
So it is kind of similar, the same actually as it works in CK3. If we don't use a hook to modify the contract, this is an act of tyranny. But if we have a little hook, suddenly it becomes not a tyranny, of course. It's just a little conversation we have.
I like it.
Yeah,
it's a good conversation.
Yeah, I know, right? So, okay, we modified that, and we are also, of course, going to modify another contract in there. Maybe we're going to do the same with the others. Oh, wait a second. I want to make the taxes higher in here because I want money.
You know what a French vampire says when you scare him? Sacre bleu! You're welcome.
I feel like you wanted to make me laugh as much as you made me laugh with Toreadors, but you didn't succeed on that.
No,
so
that was actually for my community ambassador that's in the channel, and he's going to hate it here in a minute when he notices that I've made a terrible joke.
Now, in base CK3, you could only modify a vassal's contract once per lifetime, but vampires are immortal. So we took off that restriction. You can modify vassal contracts as much as you want, and thus get as much tyranny as you want, so that your vassals will rebel against you all the time.
All
because
the tyranny.
I kind of want to be
Go
a tyrannical vampire, but first of all, speaking of tyrannical, someone else replaced me as the head of the dynasty, and I cannot let it slide. So I'm going to try to Diablerize this guy. Oh my god, 13% of the scheme. You know what? I want to do it still because vampires do mistakes, and I want to see what happens if I fail horribly.
Let's go.
Okay, let's do it. So we do that, and let me just see. Oh my god, there's so many things we can do. First of all, this high taxes. I want money. use a hook. Let's go.
Hello. Yes, I need to do something with your money. What is it? Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah. So also I want to like look at some other things in particular in here. Let me just see very quickly because I am not that.
I'm not sure what we're looking for.
I'm not that great. I'm looking for lifestyles in this particular
it's up the
scheme.
top.
It's up the top.
In the middle.
Oh no! Wait. Is it? Oh, lifestyle. There we go. There we go. Got it. So this is interesting. So on top of the regular lifestyles which we have in Crusader Kings 3, we have the ones which are something that people who play Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition may know as the resonances. These are the resonances of the blood, which, for example, if you drink from a human who is particularly sad about something, who's grieving, that person has the blood of the melancholic resonance. If you are drinking from someone who is super horny at the particular moment, they will have the sanguine resonance of the blood.
You don't get a cute face for that one. Sorry, you got a sad face, but you don't get the other one.
I kind of wanted to see that. What about the phlegmatic? Oh, that's a cute face, though.
That's all I got. All I got's cute. Sorry.
Okay, what about the choleric one?
I mean, more pious, right?
Oh, choleric is angry.
Oh, choleric.
Choleric, yeah.
I should probably get my ears checked out.
So yeah, choleric is all of these you can actually check them out. So
there we go. There we go.
So these also give you bonuses to the disciplines. So it's very, I feel like, useful to make sure that your lifestyle fits what your disciplines are.
Oh, we're going for choleric.
No, because these ones are actually not fitting our disciplines per se. I feel like we want to go for either dominate focus or the blood sorcery focus. Let me just see what else do we have in here. We could actually go for the sanguine resonance. Let me.
You broke it.
Yeah,
there we go.
There's a little trigger in here that I have to like hover over. So why I want to go for sanguine? 2 reasons. One, it gives me advanced blood sorcery and the tree, which is going to actually make us, better in this particular discipline. But also, we are a siren. We are a seductive beast, and it kind of fits roleplay wise.
Yeah,
what do you think, Stefan?
I think Sanguine would be a great pick for your blood sorcery Ventru.
Perfect.
Great. So I'm going to pick the blood sorcery focus with the true magic in the blood. Select this one, and so we need to right now find humans of sanguine resonance to drink from them to be able to unlock these, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So start some romances and then go, hello, I heard you have blood in you.
Well, you've also got that embrace scheme going.
Yes, actually we canceled that.
Embrace is that you do, in fact, drain the victim of all their blood.
No, embrace, this is like...
Oh, the embrace is still going. We canceled the hunting Joanna one.
No, we did hunt as well. It was we did hunt.
Did we finish it?
Yeah.
Because we had to cancel it to get this guy to Diablerize him, though. We canceled one of them.
Didn't we hunt immediately? Oh, yeah, maybe we did cancel that.
Hunting is a scheme. However, if you want to not bother with the scheme, if you imprison someone, you can execute them and drain their blood that way.
Okay, so can I still find mortals and just imprison them and then drain the blood from
them?
Yeah, you can. You may
peasants. No, I'm still looking for the clergy. Right. Unfortunately, I will spend my piety for that.
You got a lot.
I got a lot. Okay, let's do that then.
You there, peasant. I see that you've committed mail fraud. Please step into my dungeon so that I might drink your blood.
Yes.
Perfect.
New blood. So certainly new area. We want to imprison someone. There we go. Who is the most... who would be the most like knowledgeable out of these guys? I don't really know. Zealous empath.
Well, if you click on them to pull them up.
Yeah, I can get in there, right? There we go, of course. Learning 6, 7. So what kind of learning am I looking for?
Well, you got 6 or 7 are your better ones. 6s and 7s. All 6s and 7s. Yeah.
I think 7 is the best. So yeah, let's get that one. Imprison her. Might succeed. 79%.
79, not bad. Roll them dice. Roll them.
All right, and let's see if that is going to work. So, additionally, where do we... Okay, there we go. Justice! Xena has been apprehended and awaits her fate safely locked in the dungeon. So, can I now drink her? How do I approach that, Steph?
You can. Execute her.
Yep.
Execute her. Oh. Yep. Make sure that Xena never bothers you again. Perfect. and exsanguination. There we go, perfect. So I do spend a lot of piety, unfortunately. Wait,
Oof,
we don't even
that's a
have that
lot.
much.
Yeah, you do.
Because no, it's 500 and then it's 100 on top
Oh,
of that.
I didn't see the second 100 in there. Mm-hmm.
That is very, very pricey.
Yeah, it is.
You chose to be on the road of humanity, and you're just
Yes.
killing someone
That is
because
true.
you're hungry.
You know what? I'm going to leave her as a snack for later. She's going to be my last resort. Kind of, it's kind of important for a venture to always have that last resort
is.
somewhere, like stashed,
it is.
like a stock. So
You can this way though see what resonance her blood has.
oh, can I?
Ooh.
Ooh, where? Where can I see?
Probably scroll there.
Click on her. Yeah. On her.
No,
not
in the
yeah. Scroll.
what will happen?
Yeah. Scroll down.
Scroll down in here? No.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Scroll down there. There you go.
Well, what do you
Right
mean?
there, scroll.
Oh no, it's
Nope.
5% chance of
Okay.
Masquerade explosion will increase. I'm not really sure where her resonance is going to be in here.
Is it not in her main tab?
Mm-mm.
Over
I'm
here?
not sure.
Over here. Is that not?
You're showing the little finger on the direction. So
Oh.
where do we see that step, Stefan? Where do we see the resonance of
It
people?
should be there for whatever reason. She doesn't have any resonance. That's weird.
Maybe she doesn't have it because there are actually humans that don't have resonance when they are.
Well, there you
They are because like this is the role-playing thing actually. Like sometimes when you drink from people, they just don't have any resonance, which actually makes any difference.
Yeah.
Or it's a bug. It can be
Or
one
it's
of
a bug.
them. Or it's a bug.
Well-
That's fine.
Well, we'll let you figure that one out, everyone. That's
Yeah.
for you to figure out.
That's fine. I'm not going to execute her though because it's like just like too expensive.
She can just sit there for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. So, can you guys remind me where do we have the religion screen? Here, there we go. Right, there we go. So, this is our religion in particular. It's the road of humanity, and as you can see, these are the sins. The being wrathful, being callous, and being sadistic are the sins. It's kind of like a vanilla religion, let's say.
Very vanilla.
And virtues are being calm and compassionate,
Yes.
right? So,
Good.
yeah, the main doctrines are the...
So kidnapping people from the wilderness, accusing them of false crimes, and then trying to eat them, probably not a good idea.
Yeah, I kind of want to check out the different religion, though, in here. So I want to maybe look for someone... Oh, some kind of a... Oh, Kainat Heresy, there we go, that's awesome. So as you can see, in Kainat Heresy, the sins are gluttony, wrath, cynicism, and being compassionate is a sin, actually. While virtues are being temperate, calm, zealous, callous, and drunkard. So
Legit.
I feel like Kainat Heresy is something like, super fitting.
On that note, we are almost out of time.
Ah,
Yeah. So if you guys have any more questions, let us know. We have just a few more minutes. Wrap up some questions, answer some things for you guys. And then we have, again, the end of the stream recap. So right now, we're going to turn up the heat to 5.
there we go. I'm just going to try to see how our schemes are going to develop. Oh
no.
Oh no. I will not be
threatened.
threatened.
I like it.
Of course. Rally the troops. Oh, there we go. The embrace is happening. I have
There we go.
orchestrated even so that Euphrosyne has fallen within my clutches. In a secluded place, she will not be able to escape. Shall I grant immortality even if it means her damnation? Will she be grateful, or will she resent me forever? Did my sire have these thoughts? I'm going to embrace her, which means basically draining a human dry and then feeding him a little bit of our blood.
Make sure you're sure.
Oh, okay. So we will spend a lot of time.
Yeah, it will. But we're almost at the end, so let's do it.
Let's do it, of course. And
Done.
my daughter Euphrosyne Mithras is my new heir. So that's awesome.
And now there's a war.
Yeah, there's a war. That's okay.
What a perfect spot to stop on there. That's I gotta tell you, that's grand. That's fantastic. Well, for those of you that have just seen this, this is again the Prince of Darkness mod for CK3, with one of the fine creators, Stefan here, who has chosen to spend an hour of his day with us discussing the fine works of man. Yes. But Thank you both so much for joining me. Again, guys, make sure if you are interested in modding at all, our Discord does have plenty of modders in there, lots of mod discussions. You can check out the Steam Workshop to make sure that you can download all those mods. If you have the base game, it's real simple. Again, just download those mods, go into your launcher, enable your mods, and check which mods you want to go for the game. If you have any questions, I know all of the mod authors are very friendly, very open. We'll answer any questions that you have.
Speaking of which, very quickly, in behalf of Stefan, I want to invite you guys very warmly to Princess of Darkness Discord as well, right?
Sure. You can join us on our Discord, and you can find that where we also have the mod.
Yeah, let me see. I don't know. I'll ask my lovely Discord mods, which are watching right now. If you guys want to, provide a link in the main Discord, feel free, so we can get some communication going for modders. And again, if you are interested in modding, you can find resources for this. Definitely check out. We have a wiki page for it. Also, make sure you hit up any of the mod content creators that you are interested in. In the meantime, make sure you check out our Steam sales. While CK3 is not on there, all of our other strategy games are on there for the strategy weekend. It'll be going all weekend long. Otherwise, there will be many, many more streams. Stay tuned. Tune in with us. Again, Stefan, thank you so much for joining us. Marta, thank you for showcasing.
Bleh.
Bleh, as they say.
Blah.
Le bleh.
Le bleh.
Exactly. But thanks again, guys. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.